So one of my other questions I have for you is, you're a digital agency, right? But,
Yep.
And so you do a lot of marketing for your clients.
Mm-hmm.
The obvious question I have do you practice what you preach? What does PWD do about your own advertising and marketing?
Yeah, so we're pretty aggressive with our marketing. We're on radio. We use a lot of what's called a DSP, just demand side platforms. So that's where you can buy digital advertising across any network. So that might be across catch-up television or viewing on demand, audio, podcasts, live streaming, banner adverts, etc. So we do that. We do Google ads and we do search engine optimization. Yeah. Other than that, we speak at events. So we're a member of WA Leaders. So I'm an industry expert. So I'll get up on stage and talk about the latest and greatest tips and tricks. And also do coaching sessions, which are all free. Well, actually, I pay to be at there. So technically, I'm paying to talk. And that's what we do. But we've always been very, I guess, always offensive with our advertising. In both meanings, with the creative sometimes a bit offensive, but always been on, and I do find it quite ironic when I see marketing agencies that don't eat their own breakfast. They're telling clients to do this, that, and the other, but they don't do it themselves. And you're going, well, hang on a second. And I think business owners probably appreciate that when I say, I actually do this myself and it works, like I can back it. And you can really say that with conviction, because I will only give somebody, advice and tell them to do something if I own their business, and that's what I would do. And I've lived by that because, in cases when I've kind of gone and veered from that and I've, done something which I thought was probably more in my best interest or the company's best interest, it's never ended well because it's not long-term thinking. So at the time I signed that client, the strategy that we put into play is what we think is right for them. There's a lady I'm meeting up with for breakfast tomorrow morning, not far from my house at 7:30 a.m. And I'm telling her not to do SEO, even though that would make me technically more money. And I'll probably set up a Google Ads account for her, but I'm not going to run and manage it for her and charge her a management fee because she's going to pay more to me or PWD than she would in media spend. And that's just illogical. It's just going to give me a bad name. So, that's the truth. We spend a lot. We probably spend $500-600 grand a year on marketing, which may blow people away. But I almost see advertising as an insurance policy. Without it, I get rather nervous, much like if you're driving a car around without insurance, you have a dingle, it's going to cost you. Because once you get to the size that we are, you've got a machine that you've got to feed. I have a responsibility to keep this ship afloat. I've got 40 mouths to feed. So if the phone stops ringing, the inquiries, we start to look at our new sales, that all washes out very quickly. Within a quarter to maybe 2 quarters, you're behind the 8 ball.
I like that comparison. It's like insurance. In our industry, it's like people don't think twice about insuring their car. Premium comes out every year. They don't take out life TPD or trauma or income protection insurance. So you're saying in advertising and marketing and digital, it's like insurance. To take it out anyway.
100%.
Like
and it's just very, very easy to get into that mindset. Oh, everybody knows me. They're going to come to me anyways. I'm the only one, or I'm great at what I do, and you kind of had this kind of ego and arrogance about you. And the reality is, in today's world, it doesn't matter how big your brand is and those sort of things. We saw how quickly that can disappear from you. Look at Optus with their hack, and how many clients just went yoink and went off to Telstra because they no longer trusted their brand. And to be fair, we're in a commodity space. We're in web and digital marketing. You can get it from a lot of places. So I think, you've any business, service-based businesses, professional-based businesses, whatever and it's all relative, I guess, to probably how much you want to grow and how much you're turning over. Because people say to me all the time, Oliver, how much should I spend on my marketing? And I'll say, well, look, if you want to put it as a percentage, probably 8 to 10% of your revenue now or your predicted revenue. But at the end of the day, it's wherever you want to kind of get to. And it's a bit of a leap of faith as well, because advertising is one of those things that you can't touch it, feel it, see it. But you bloody oath know when it's not working. And you're swirling the hole. Because we as an agency have, we've got this responsibility. When a client places their faith in you that you're going to help them drive leads, sales, customers for their business, that's quite a big responsibility. And it still baffles me why people try to do that as cheaply as possible. Because it's so short-sighted, it's so counterintuitive to kind of stuff yourself up. You know?
I like how you use the reference to the lady with the SEO, not going down that path because it may not work for her. It's the old sort of saying, 50% of advertising doesn't work. It's a case of which 50%. So you obviously must have numerous experiences with different campaigns.
Well, I looked at the numbers. So she does fairly niche services, and I just typed in those keywords and saw the search volumes, and then I asked her the lifetime value of those clients, and of course I then compare that. So I go, well, X amount of people are going to click on the ad, we know that, so call it 10%. Of that, we know probably 1 in 4, 1 in 3 will convert into new customers. We know the lifetime value of that customer. And you start with a big number at the bottom, but a very small bottom number at the top. And now if I'm charging her a proper search engine optimization retainer to get a number 1 on Google for those kind of keywords, it's a fairly decent investment for a small business that's just 2 of them. She's not big enough and established enough that SEO she's not at the right stage of her business that it makes sense. And I said to her, look, there's this kind of risk-free option, basically, in the fact that you can just stop it, turn it off, decrease it if you need to, being Google Ads, where you can test the market. Let's see if digital marketing works for your business. Let's see if your website's going to convert. Let's see whether people actually want what you're selling. And I would much rather do that with her. And I said to her, I almost sort of said, I don't want you as a client, because whereas there's many agencies or, perhaps private, freelancers that would go, let's take her on and sell her whatever. And the problem is it starts to give the industry a bit of a bad name.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. She goes, it's crap, doesn't work. Google Ads didn't work, or SEO didn't work, or whatever it is. And it's not that. It's just that she shouldn't have perhaps signed on to it in the first place. And that's hard, and it's hard doing that with an agency when you've got other people in the business that perhaps don't see it that way, or they've got different viewpoints. But I just try to back up any recommendation I make to a business owner based upon numbers and data. And that kind of guides me in the right direction. Or I just think, hang on a second, put that hat on. I now own her business. Where would I put my money? And I kind of, if you live by that, and I'd say it must be the same with an accountant or a lawyer, you've got to look at it and go, well, if that was my business, what would I do with it?
I like that. Thanks for sharing that one.